Lisa LaBelle, everyone!
I think we're up and running. Hello, world. Welcome to the number 2 podcast in the entire world. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. It is chilly in these parts of town. Is it chilly where you guys are? Holy smokes. 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And at night it gets down to 24 degrees Fahrenheit. Jack Frost is over there. He's breathing that dry air into our lungs, into our face holes, and now our noses are running. We can't breathe out our freaking nose. We gotta do the mouth breathing. Our eyes are dry. We're freezing tatas. It's a tit-bit nipply out there, huh? Y'all know what that's from, right? Christmas Vacation. It's Christmas vacation season. And Christmas Vacation, they were playing that for 24 hours on one of those apps out there. I think Tubi or something like that. It's fantastic. Woo! I'm still trying to get used to being cold. I've been living in the South for a little while. I think my body got used to it. And it acclimated to the really freaking hot summers. And now when I go outside and it's 30 degrees, I'm freezing like a little bitch. And that's a new feeling for me. So I'm just trying to get used to feeling cold like a little bitch. God. Good Lord, Mother Teresa. Good God. I read about a place that is super cold. It's one of the coldest places on Earth, if not the coldest place on Earth, in Siberia. I believe it is Russia. But everyone over there, they look like Mongolian. That's what's going on in that town. It's called Yakutsk. Yakutsk, and you can pronounce that however you like, but that's how I pronounced it. It's widely considered the coldest major city on Earth. We're talking, let's see, it holds the record for the lowest temperature recorded in a major city at negative 83.9 degrees Fahrenheit. God, and there's people living there. Holy smokes. Their whole city is built on permafrost. Those people built hardy-gardy over there. They gotta be real like brontosaurus build. You gotta have a lot of fat on your body to be able to handle not getting frostbite and your nose falling off your face after being outside for 15 minutes. God. Yeah, their whole town is built on permafrost. That means if you have a building and it has heat, which all of their buildings, they have to have heat or everyone will die. You can't just slap a foundation down on the permafrost and then put your heat on there. The permafrost, it melt and then turn to mud and your building, it'd be gone, man. So they got to build this whole city is built on Pilar? What am I saying? They're built on that. What do you call that? Stilts, basically. Piles. That's what I'm saying. Piles. Driven deep into the permafrost because you got to have ventilation under there to keep it super cold, to keep it permafrost, to keep that permafrost. That's basically it. Or else your building be collapsing. And then all of their ventilation, their heat, all of their pipes and everything are built above ground. They can't be touching the permafrost. Isn't that wild? That is freaking wild, man. Holy smokes, it's cold there. God, I looked outside today and it was 30 degrees Fahrenheit this morning. I look outside, there's a duck in the pond. A mallard. And that duck, it's swimming. It looked like it was actually singing a happy tune. And I just couldn't believe it because it's so freaking cold out. And then I thought, man, the anxiety of a duck must be super high. Like squirrel high. Orange cat energy high. Imagine you just go and put your feet into a pond you can't see under there. I know like snapping turtles exist. They'll snap those bichons right out the freaking water. You don't even know it's coming. I mean, talk about anxiety. Good God. Those mallards out there. They're braving it. And also the mallard that Joseph Stalin he gave to Truman. Well, he didn't give it to Truman. He gave it to the U.S. ambassador. He gave a mallard, not a real one, but it was like a carved mallard. And he gave it to the U.S. ambassador at the time. And who was that? Averil Harriman. Hairy man. He's a hairy man, that guy. That U.S. ambassador over there. In 1945, he was a hairy man. Did you say he's a hairy man? Like he has a lot of hair? Well, no, that's his name. Hairy man. And Stalin's like, oh yeah, let's get the school children to give the mallard to Harry Man, and he will hang it up in the White House, and then we can listen in to all of everything they're saying. That's what happened, and it was hanging up there for 7 years, man. 7 whole years. That mallard was over there, and it was listening in. And the crazy thing is they were able to, it wasn't battery operated, obviously. They shot microwaves at it from a van that was parked outside. So no one noticed a van for 7 years. Like this same van. Good God, Mother Teresa. Good God. That's what that mallard was doing over there in the White House from Joseph Stalin. God. I hope everyone had a beautiful weekend and a beautiful Thanksgiving. I had some family coming in. I actually had 2 batches of family coming in. So it was a busy weekend of cooking. I made the homemade chicken noodle soup, which I make once a year because it's a lot of work. And then also the meatballs that I made for my husband's birthday. Well, I made a bunch of those. At the time, I froze them, and then we were able to have those, and that was fantastic. You got the meatloaf. You make it. I love spending time in that kitchen. It's fantastic. It's great. It was great. And, of course, it was my mom's first time coming to see the house, coming to Georgia to visit me in Georgia. So I asked my husband, I said, husband, we got to decorate for Christmas. We got to decorate the house for Christmas so my mom can see, so my mom can see, and then so his parents can see too. So we did that. We were a part of the crew that decorated for Christmas before Thanksgiving. I know there's people out there cringing. What do you want me to say, man? It's like we were celebrating Christmas with my ma at the time because I'm not going to see her for Christmas. And here's the thing with Christmas decorating. I am to the point where I don't even put batteries in the battery operated little Christmas decorations like the trees and the houses and the little Christmas trucks. I don't do that. I don't put the batteries anymore because I just don't have time to take the little screws off and pop the little thing off and take the batteries out to put them away. God, barely have time to even put the stuff away. Jeez. That's how that is. But it was fantastic. It was fantastic. What else is going on, guys? What else is going on? Oh, I did a lot of driving because I had to go to the grocery store. And that requires driving. And there's a lot of people on the road right now because of the holidays, I guess. They're going out and they're doing things, they're getting things. There's things to do around town. There's lights to see. And you come across people who drive really, really slow on these 1 Like you got two lanes, one going one way, one going the other way. And if you are behind someone who is driving really slow, you have nowhere to go. Good God, man. Holy smokes. I just don't have the patience. I have a bit of a lead foot and I just don't have the patience for that. Don't you see there's a pile of people in back of you? I cannot stand when people are waiting on me. That's all I'm saying. So did you see a pile of people? Look, listen, I understand elderly people. I get it. Then get a Tesla, that full self-driving mode, and you're not going to feel the anxiety you're going to feel when you drive a combustion engine and you don't, you're driving slow because you're really not confident in yourself. Because I'm feeling that, man. I'm feeling that in back of you. And I don't like it. It's typical bot behavior. And I'm not just talking about elderly people. I'm not picking on them. There's also young people, people in the middle, other people who just, they don't like driving. Then freaking don't take an Uber, man. I don't even know what to say. It's typical bot behavior. That's a NPC. That's a non-player character. That's what's going on out there. A lot of bots, a lot of typical bot behavior I'm seeing at this time of year. That's all I'm saying. A little feisty. Sorry, I felt a little feisty about that because listen, when I go out driving and if it's nice out, like last week, it was not so cold. It was nice. So I want my windows down. I want my music very loud, and I want my sunroof open, and I want to cruise. I want to cruise around town, get to where I'm going. That's how I prefer driving. Yes, that's how it is. That's the deal. So that's what's going on out there, folks. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Sip on up. I wonder, I think about you guys sometimes and what are you doing? What are you doing while you're listening to this podcast? Are you sitting? Are you in traffic? Are you working? Are you taking a break from work? If you are, and you have some coffee near you or a drink, a beverage of sorts, maybe some libations, go ahead and take a sip with me. Cheers. Okay, we're back. I have a prediction about the future, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, and I don't think I want it to be right. I really don't. I don't want it to be right. I'm seeing a lot of video. I mean, of course, there's a lot of AI slop out there, but a lot of these videos, Sora, Croc, they are so real looking. They're getting the hands right. I mean, you don't have a problem with hands anymore. It is wild because we're getting to a point where it's so real looking that we're not going to know what's real or not. So someone could say, I'm just thinking, it's a Minority Report sitch. I think Minority Report, it's a super old movie with Tom Cruise. Go take a look. It's kind of like that kind of world, or maybe like a Blade Runner world, or so in order for you not to prove that you committed a crime, someone could make a video of that. I think everyone's going to have to get chipped to show where they were. You're like, no, here, tap into it. And I wasn't there at that time. Of course, that always leaves open cybersecurity issues, malware issue. Man, this world, it's going to be wild. But yeah, I think we're going towards the personal, like the chip, like that's what we're going to have to do to prove where you were, that's going to be your alibi, man. That's it. That's my prediction. Also, I've been thinking about quantum entanglement, and human beings, we let off some photons. We let off some magnetic radiation and, radioactive. We're radioactive. It's in the form of infrared. And those photons, they're not very strong. And they're not strong enough to get entangled, but maybe, I don't know, we're learning new things every day. And I was just thinking, you know how you feel a connection with people sometimes, or you come across each other's path sometime, and it could be work, it could be in personal life, and maybe it felt like I have deja vu all the friggin' time, man. And my dreams are so incredibly vivid. It feels real, except I'm sleeping, so I know it's not. But anyway, what I'm saying is could the photons that you put off, and I know the answer is no right now, today with what we know, but maybe something along these lines, could our photons be getting entangled with other people's photons? So your photon, it looked, it's like, hey, that's my entanglement, buddy. And then maybe something happened where they became entangled, and that's the connection you feel when you actually meet the person. It could be across the freaking world. I was just thinking that. I was just thinking it up. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. Okay, I've been thinking about this too, and this is I'm okay. What I'm trying to say, we have a friend. Not going to name his name, but we have a friend, my husband and I, and he was telling us about an interview he did for a job. And now this is along the lines of the DEI, diversification, inclusion, equity, inclusion. If I said that right. So we have a friend, again, not going to name his name, and he was telling us about this interview he was doing with a company, and a really interesting question that he was asked by someone who was not Caucasian. The question was, hey, tell me an example of a time when you had to solve a problem, a hard problem. And this is not verbatim, okay? This is paraphrased. When you had to solve a problem, like a hard problem, and you went to ask someone's advice to solve it who was not white, basically, who was not Caucasian. So the question basically was saying, tell me of a time when you had to solve a problem and you went and asked someone of another color than you to help you solve it. And I think what the company was trying to do is they're trying to include diversity. It sounds like. Here's what but this is where my mind goes, and if this joke don't work out, then I'm gonna buy some Kevlar. So here we go. This is where my mind goes. I guess what I'm saying is what I'm sharing with you is where my mind is going, and if people don't like it, then I'm gonna have to buy some Kevlar. So basically, I'm thinking if a company wants diversity, which is fantastic, great. They want the diversified workers in their company solving the problems, and that's fantastic. So what you're saying is while Abigail, Preston, and Braxton are out to lunch on their Pinterest boards, you got Enrique, Kevin, and Lee over there solving the company's hardest problems, and they can't take lunch because they have to solve the problems, and they can't go over to Braxton because the company rule is they have to ask people of diversity to help them solve the problems. And to me, that doesn't sound equal. You see what I'm saying? Holy smokes. Is anyone thinking about this? Is anyone thinking about this? Who came up with that DEI? Was it a bunch of white people who didn't want to work? And then they're like, hey, we need to hire all these diversity people. And it sounds really great and altruistic, but really no one's actually thinking about what's really going on. They're not actually thinking about the logistics of DEI. What? Let me tell you something, because if that's really what's going on, how do I get on that train, man? God, that sounds pretty sweet. How do I get into that lunch with Abigail, Braxton, and Preston not solving any problems? Because you can't come to me to solve a problem. You got to go over there to Enrique to help you solve the problem. You can't go to me. So I'm just going to go out to lunch and look at my Pinterest board. Because what else am I going to do? That's wild, right? I said that joke at a comedy club, and it was mainly a Caucasian crowd. No one laughed. And I said, oh, is no one laughing because someone in here in AHR, they're the ones who created the DEI program? Is that what's going on? And then after the show, I was outside, and this black dude came up to me. He said, your joke was freaking hilarious. And I actually heard him. He was the only one who laughed at that joke. And it just made me feel really good. So thanks, guy. I'm telling you, after a set like that, and then the crickets, and you're like, did I tell that joke right? I didn't mean to sound a certain way against anybody, and you're kind of like rethinking everything, and then you get reassurance from someone that was really good. That felt really good. And I was super, man, it's like plugging in a battery. It just energized me. So, all right, I'll go buy my Kevlar, and let's move on. Here we go. Let's move on to the show. Lord help us all. Glory to God. Mother Teresa. Okay. This is interesting. We're going to get on into the technology piece, and we're going to start off a lot of space stuff here. I've really been on a space kick, and because I'm excited about it. I came across this post about the, Kardashev scale, and how we are type 0 on the Kardashev scale. I'm going to play this video because this is a perfect way of explaining it. So bear with me while I pop this up. Okay.
On the Kardashev scale,
hang on, here we go.
Humans are a type 0 civilization on the Kardashev scale, which ranks civilizations in the universe. This scale measures how much energy a civilization can harness. A Type 1 civilization controls every bit of energy on its planet. All the sunlight, the wind, the oceans, even earthquakes and tsunamis turned into power. A Type 2 civilization captures the full energy of its star. Imagine a Dyson sphere, a giant structure built around the sun, drinking every photon of light. With that power, we'd terraform Mars, colonize planets, reshape our solar system. A Type 3 civilization? They don't just use one star, they harvest the power of an entire galaxy. Billions of stars, black holes, wormholes opening doors across space and time.
I want to be in that
Types 4, 5, even 7. Beings so advanced, they don't just harness energy, they create universes. They look like gods to us.
My God, I want to be type 7.
Still at type 0. The question isn't if we can rise higher, it's whether we'll survive long enough to take that first step.
Well,
Humans
that's
are a
true.
Type 0
I don't
civilization
think.
on the
Sorry, bear with
Kardashev
me.
scale,
Oh,
which
good
ranks
God.
civilizations in the universe. This
Get out of here. Okay, sorry. Get out of here. Yeah, I don't think here's the thing. I like being optimistic, but I don't think we're going to make it, guys. I think we need to get to Mars. That's how I feel. We need to get to Mars. That's the only way we're going to make it. I think the next civilization, the next step to preserving human civilization is getting to Mars, because it seems like in about 5 to 10 years, we're going to be in a war, probably destroy ourselves, or it's going to be so bad that we're going to be back to ground zero with everything, and it's going to take us a very long time to get to where we are today with sending rockets. So anyway, what I'm saying is we got to get to Mars within the next 5 to 10 years. I feel it's super important to do that. And, what do I know? But I'm excited about Optimus getting to Mars, and that is Tesla's humanoid robot, because Optimus getting to Mars, as well as we have a few robotic companies. You're going to need robots up there building things, building structures, and figuring out the food sitch for human beings, and the radiation situation. And Mars is not going to be... I don't think we're going to be able to stay there for a very long time because of the radiation situation. We're going to have to go and explore other planets and from Mars, but Mars is a great starting point. And putting autonomous robots up there that can build things and ahead of time before human beings get there. And that'd be fantastic. And also, I'm talking about robots that 3D print buildings. And Icon, Jason Ballard over there at Icon, he talks about this, putting his 3D printers up in space and autonomously building structures so that those will be built ahead of time before human beings get to either the moon or to Mars. So Optimus is on that path, and that's super exciting to me. And there's something called a von Neumann probe, Neumann, and you can pronounce that however you want. I'm going to pronounce it Neumann. The von Neumann probe status and self-replication, and I'm going to pull this post up here. Optimus's promotion into von Neumann probe status and self-replication. Von Neumann would lose his mind if he saw what Optimus is warming up for, and that's a human being, Mr. von Neumann. The upgrade self-replication theory straight out of von Neumann's playbook. AI trained on billions of real-world decisions, hardware already built for factory autonomy, perfect candidate for off-world infrastructure. Optimus is gearing up to scale itself to cover the workload. And there is a AI-generated video of Optimus on Mars, basically on a production line, and just popping off that production line, kind of like that old Eminem song where he's on that factory line. And then and then they're building things on Mars. So that's really interesting to me. And there's another, let me see here. Elon Musk talked about this. Optimus will be the von Neumann probe. And that's where this talk is coming from. And Optimus is gearing up for that. Optimus got Optimus 3's hand redefined what humanoid means. And we have a demonstration here of the new Optimus 3 hand. Tesla's Optimus Gen 3 hands are a quiet revolution in robotics with 22 degrees of freedom and human-like tendons hidden in the forearm. Each move feels deliberate, balanced, alive. The fingers read pressure and texture through sensors 4 times more sensitive than before, feeding Tesla's neural networks trained on real-world motion. That's amazing. Durable enough for millions of cycles, affordable enough for mass use. They mark a turning point, machines no longer mimicking people, but moving with the same intent. And 22 DOF, and that's degrees of freedom. That's the amount of movement a joint can do. The number of independent movements its joint can make. And you need that DOF for that DTF. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Go Optimus. Optimus got that orthopedics. He's moving his hands along, and they're moving really well. He's showing off his hands. He's like, hey, I got these 22 DOF. And he's going up to another humanoid, and he's like, are you DTF to look at my hand DOF? Good God. Do you feel the cheese? There's a pile, just a cheese plate right here. All the cheese coming out my mouth. All right. Let's talk about more about Optimus, because I love talking about Optimus. Okay, Optimus, he's looking good with that gait. That's what I'm saying. If you got a humanoid, you need to make sure you got a good gait. Good gait. Your humanoid can't have a bad gait. It needs to have a good gait. And all the ladies like that good gait. So the new gen Optibot, let's see, this gait. So actually the total, that's amazing. So it has 22 degrees of freedom in its hand. And it has 28 degrees of freedom in its body. That's really, really, really good. Also really, really hard to engineer. Holy smokes. Look at this dude. Okay, we got Optimus. He running with that good gait. Here we go. He's just, here. Oh, you're running by. That's amazing. And then in the background are a bunch of Optimuses just standing there ready to run. He's just like, that's what I imagine. He's playing some sort of happy tune in his head because he's ready to get to work. Look at this. Look at this, though. Ready? Look at how smooth. That is, Optimus running is smoother than most human beings when they run. When was the last time you tried to run, man? Huh? You get outside, you try to run, you don't look like that. Yeah, good luck looking like that. And Optimus, he don't got no knee pain. He ain't got no hip soreness, inflammation. He's quite smooth, and he's got that good gait. That's incredible. And I love the color. Love it. I missed this news, speaking of Tesla Optibot. And so now we're moving along to SpaceX. And I guess I missed this news in September. SpaceX teamed up with EchoStar. And that's pretty cool because SpaceX partnered with EchoStar in a $17 billion deal announced on September 8th, 2025, primarily to acquire valuable wireless spectrum licenses that enable expansion of Starlink's direct-to-cell satellite connectivity services. This partnership allows SpaceX to bypass reliance on leased spectrum from partners like T-Mobile and instead operate its own optimized frequencies for beaming high-speed 5G signals directly to standard mobile phones, eliminating cellular dead zones in remote or underserved areas worldwide. Wow. Now people can get that signal. You know, let's start harnessing stuff so we can get out of that zero Kardashev scale thing. Let's watch that again. I want to watch that again. The Kardashev scale thing. Here we go. Okay.
Humans are a type 0 civilization on the Kardashev scale, which ranks civilizations in the universe. This scale measures how much energy a civilization can harness. A Type 1 civilization controls every bit of energy on its planet. All the sunlight, the wind, the oceans, even earthquakes and tsunamis turned into power.
Let's go.
A Type 2 civilization captures the full energy of its star. Imagine a Dyson sphere.
Hang on. A Dyson sphere? I know that that's not the brand, but it reminds me of the brand, a Dyson. And good God, if we have a Dyson up there, will that Bichon be bad in a year? That Bichon, if we had a Dyson sphere that was made by the brand Dyson, I know a Dyson sphere is not a Dyson the brand. I'm just saying, if Dyson the brand's like, hey, that Dyson sphere looks like the hair dryer that we make with the hole in the middle. We'll make it for ya. That Dyson sphere be up there in space, and then it be falling in a year because that's how long their products last. And I'm saying that I'm a little feisty about it because they're really, really, really expensive. The vacuums in particular, the stick vacuums. Anyone out there have a Dyson that actually lasted a year without the battery failing? It's like a freaking iPhone. They built that battery not to last. They're like, hey, let's put that battery in there, and then it needs to die, and then everyone's gonna be wanting to buy a new one. No one's going to want to buy a new one because they're really expensive, Dyson, and it's super freaking fun. I got the stick vacuum, the Dyson, and the battery goes out, so you got to hit it really hard to get the battery going. Come on, Dyson. So they're not going to be building the Dyson sphere. Let's keep going.
A giant structure built around the sun, drinking every photon of light. With that power, we'd terraform Mars, colonize planets,
That'd be
reshape our
amazing.
solar system. A Type 3 civilization? They don't just use one star, they harvest the power of an entire galaxy.
Wow.
Billions of stars, black holes, wormholes opening doors across
Black hole,
space and
wormhole.
time. And beyond that, Types 4, 5, even 7.
I want to hear Morgan Freeman
Beings so
narrate this. Come
advanced,
on.
They don't just harness
Wormhole
energy.
guy.
They create universes. They look like gods to us. And yet, here we are, still at Type 0. The question isn't if we can rise higher, it's whether we'll survive long enough to take that first step.
I don't think we will. I like being optimist, but I don't think we're going to survive long enough. Yikes. A storm is a brewing. A storm is a coming. 5 to 10 years. I think that storm's coming. And for those of us who don't have bunkers, like me, we're going to be left out here on the surface of the earth, on the surface of the godforsaken earth, to fend for ourselves. So we need to get on up to Mars. That's what I'm saying. Moving on. Okay, so we have astronauts that are getting trained to go to Mars. Yes. Here we go. We had 2 missions. They I'm talking NASA. And they are called the CHAPEA mission. This is the CHAPEA mission. And that stands for CHAPEA. And that's Crew Health and Performance Exploration Analog. And analog means it's on Earth. It's not actually on Mars, because we haven't gotten to Mars yet with the human beings, trying to figure that out. So there was the first mission was done in, I think, let me see. The first CHAPA mission, Crew Health and Performance Exploration Analog mission at NASA, was done in 2021. And that was called the Mars Dune Alpha Habitat, and that was printed by Icon. I love Icon over there. Jason Ballard over there. He doing that Icon thing. He printing some homes, man. He printing homes with really large spaces, not a lot of interior walls, and we're talking maybe like scissor trusses, and we're talking gang plates. and that's the roof. That's what I'm saying. Gang steel plates. And that's in a roof. And you're going to need a lot of that. You're going to need a lot of scissor trusses. And you're going to need a lot of gang nail plates. And a roof with a building that's really big and doesn't have a lot of interior walls. And so Jason Ballard over there at Icon, he built the Mars habitat for this NASA crew, analog crew. Again, analog means on Earth and not actually on Mars. And their printer called Vulcan, it's a gantry style printer. It printed the Mars Dune Alpha habitat in August 2021. And the first mission was a year-long Mars analog habitat at Johnson Space Center. And it's a 1,700 square foot 3D printed structure simulating Martian conditions. It was completed in 2022 and used for the first Chiappa mission, which was 378 days. It ended July 2024. So, man, I just rave about Icon. Icon is incredible. And I saw Jason Ballard over there on the 60-minute interview with Leslie Stahl over there. Man, Leslie, she gets around, man. Leslie doing all kinds of interviews. She was going over to China to check out their humanoid production a few years ago when they announced that they were doing a mass humanoid production of robots a few years ago. That was at Leslie Stahl. And Leslie Stahl, she interviewed Jason Ballard. So astronauts at NASA are preparing. Did you hear that, guys? That was my cardboard that fell out of the window. And I think I'm going to go put it back up. Bear with me. I can't put it back up because I'm tethered. I was about to zip on over and put that cardboard back in the window. And then I realized I'm tethered by my headphones. And then you would have seen me. I would have went out of the video, but then I would have went whop back in like a yo-yo. Hit a wall and good douche. And the whole friggin' studio went down. That's how that would have happened. Okay. All right, let's get back to this astronaut training to go to Mars. And that's through NASA. So Chiappa mission crew 2, they entered the Mars Dune Alpha habitat on October 19th of this year. And they're going to be in there. They're going to be in that Bichon for 378 days. That's how long the last crew was in there. And they're just cranking them out. They're like, let's go. Crew 1, in, out. Crew 2, in, out. Let's go. Let's get these people trained up for Mars. Yes. Because we got to get out of that. We got to get out of that zero we're the type 0 on the Kardashev scale. And this is bringing us a little closer to busting through that Bichon, okay? We got to do that. So let's see. I'm going to pop this video up. It's the crew. Let's see. This is the first time I'm watching the video. So we're going to watch it together. Yay. I love being here with you guys. Thanks for joining me today. And, this podcast, people are like, why would I listen to your podcast? Well, if you want to listen to it, if you like it, you laugh maybe, or maybe you're someone who you want to see what's going on in the world with new technology and space exploration, AI, robotics. I talk about the ones that are really making a difference and making progress and getting somewhere. This is taking a little bit here. Here we go. Okay, here's the NASA video. The Mission 2 Chiappa crew. All right, the door is open to the Mars Dune Alpha habitat, and here they go. They're in their NASA suits. They're giving send-offs. And there's the last guy, and the door is vaulted.
Chiappa Mission 2 is a go.
Boom! So they're in there now. They're in there for 378 days. God, man, they're going to be in there for Christmas. Oh, my Lord, man. I wonder if they got a Christmas tree or if they're going to be spending Christmas in there. They don't even really know each other. Yeah, I'd probably gnaw my teeth right out my freaking head, man. Right out my skull. Especially if, especially if you got Blake over there and she's super smart and they're like, her IQ is through the roof. But she also has these idiosyncrasies and that no one can freaking handle, man. So everyone, by the end of the mission, 378 days, everyone's walking out of there with their teeth gnawed right out their freaking head. They itch their nose off their face. Everyone walking out of there with no teeth, no nose. And then Blake comes out, she's waving, she got her teeth and her nose. She doesn't annoy herself. And that's just how I would imagine it would go for me, man. Holy smokes. Godspeed, guys. Good luck. I'm sure they'll all get along just fine. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. And again, tying it back to Icon because they built the Mars Dune Alpha habitat that the Chiappa crew, that's Crew Health and Performance Exploration Analog, are going to be living in for the next 378 days. And this is mission number 2. And Icon, man, again, they bad. Jason Ballard over there, he know what he doing. Jason Ballard over there, he was interviewed on 60 Minutes with Leslie Stahl. And he's talking about his passion for his company and for space. And that's actually how I found out about his company, because they actually entered they participated in the NASA's 3D printed habitat challenge in 2019. And Icon with Colorado School of Mines won an award in the SEAL test stage, and in 2019. So that's when I started researching Icon, and seeing them grow to what they are today has been super incredible. And I love seeing their journey. And that's why I love talking about them, because I'm super passionate about what they do. And bear with me here. So let's see. I wanted to talk about Jason Ballard's passion for space, and he does have contracts with NASA, and I want to go over their printer. So their current 3D printer for Earth is the Vulcan 2, and that's a gantry style printer. And again, gantry style is basically, it uses a framework with rails or tracks that guide a print head. It's a nozzle, basically, along an X, Y, and Z axis to deposit material layer by layer. That's a gantry style. Now, is it is it better than a robotic arm? There's pros and cons to it. Obviously, gantry style, robotic arm printers, more mobile and flexible for complex shapes, but less stable for large scale builds. The thing with a gantry style is you need flat ground, from my understanding, to put the rails on. You have to secure the rails on a super flat ground. It can't be all janked up. So that's the thing with that. And they do have their own material that they feed through the printer, and it's called lavacrete, and that lavacrete is made in something called the magma system. You got Vulcan, you got lavacrete, and you got magma, and I just love it, man. So now what Jason Ballard talked about on his interview with Leslie Stahl in 60 Minutes back, October in 2023. He demonstrated, I believe he was at NASA, and they were demonstrating what the plan is for his 3D printer to make basically lavacrete on Mars. And now it'd be different material. It'd be made out of regolith. And we don't have that regolith here on Earth, but there is a synthetic form of it that NASA is working with to basically make a sort of material that the autonomous printer on the moon can use to print things, basically. And it's going to be used, they're going to use a laser to do it, and that's incredible. Quote, Jason said, "We are trying to make material to print out of a regolith. Obviously, we don't have a lunar regolith, but we made something like it, and that's at NASA, and they're using lasers for hardening material." Laser. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, and that was Austin Powers. Laser. Okay. And so we have, let's see, Icon Space Tech shifts from extrusion, which is Vulcan, the gantry style printer's paste method, to laser-based additive manufacturing for regolith, as it doesn't flow like wet concrete. Key innovation, laser vitreous multi-material transformation. That's a LVMT. And vitrification means full melting to glass, like solidity. It's more durable, but it uses more energy because it needs to be hotter. A NASA-backed process where lasers heat regolith, melting it into a glass symmetric. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. What kind of laser is it? What are we talking about here? It's probably like a fiber laser. We're thinking like a fiber laser or a CO2 laser. A CO2. Well, isn't the Carbon Robotics uses the CO2 laser for their laser weeder too? Yes, they do. Carbon Robotic uses that CO2 for their laser weeder too, man. And they're out there, Carbon Robotics, with their laser weeder too. They're zapping those meristems. They're smoking those weeds. And that's the best kind of weed smoking I like. Is the laser weeder 2. It doesn't use chemicals to kill weeds. It uses a CO2 laser. And now, ladies, you've heard of the CO2 laser for your face. Maybe you go get laser weeder 2 and slap that on your face. And I'm a comedian, man. You are humans with a brain and reasonable ability. Don't listen to me. Don't do that. Don't slap the laser weeder 2 laser on your face. Good God, Mother Teresa. Good Lord, I'm just making a joke over here. Let's move on. Okay, so Jason Ballard of Icon, he was talking here. Let's see. Icon's space ambitions stem from NASA partnerships focusing on in situ resources utilization, using local materials on site to avoid shipping heavy cargo from Earth. That's the reason why they're trying to figure out this regolith lavacrete thing with the lasers. Sorry, I had to do it again. So, yeah, because you're not shipping a ton of material to the moon. It's inefficient. So the goal is autonomous printers that mine and process planetary soil. A 2022 NASA contract is $57.2 million via SBIR/STTR program for Project Olympus, developing a lunar surface construction system. As of May of 2025, NASA has advanced this with Icon's tech for Moon Mars exploration, including tests in simulated gravity. Wow. Yes. Let's go, Icon. Let's go. Godspeed, Jason Ballard. Godspeed on your progress and success with Icon. Let's go. Let's get on. Let's, come on, Jason, pull us out of that type 0 Kardashev scale, man. Let's not be a type 0 on the Kardashev scale. Let's go. I think Jason can get us there. I also think Elon Musk will get us there with Optimus. And I also think that Brett Adcock will get us there with Figure. Brett's building his own batteries over there. Brett building his own battery. Yep, Brett building his own batteries over there. I figure Brett building his own batteries. That's pretty mind-blowing, man. I wouldn't even know where to start with the whole battery thing or anything else Brett Adcock built. So, Godspeed, sir. Godspeed. Let's go. There are only hopes. That's what I'm saying. Jason Ballard, Elon Musk, Brett Adcock, you're our only hopes, man. Come on. You're going to get us through the AI and robotics revolution. Let's go. So let's show them some love and some positive energy. Moving on. Oh, this company, Sunday Robotics, so exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay, Sunday Robotics. I just love it. I just love this company, guys. They have the cutest robot and they're doing a lot of great things. And I think they're also doing some great things for us to pull ahead in the AI and robotics revolution. And let's see. They were founded in late 2024. The company began developing its first prototype in late 2024, and this is a robotics company. Sunday Robotics is a rising startup in the home robotics space focusing on creating capable humanoid robots for household tasks. Leadership and funding. We got co-founder and CEO Tony Zaheo. And Tony over there, he was a former Google DeepMind Tesla engineer, and that's the kind of guy that's gonna go off on his own and he's gonna go make a robot that is doing some really amazing, mind-blowing things, engineering feat level. That's what's going on over there at Sunday Robotics. Exciting times we're in, boys and girls. Exciting time. I don't know what kind of accent was I trying. I was trying to do like a vaudeville. Exciting times, boys and girls. Exciting times. Here we go. Let's see. Total funding of Sunday Robotics, $35 million. The lead investors was Benchmark and Conviction. And I'm getting this information from Gemini, by the way. Let's see. They're located in Mountain View, California, and that's over there in Silicon Valley. Okay. We got a lot of companies over there in Silicon Valley. Some people say that Atlanta is the Silicon Valley of the South. And that's where I am. That's where this podcast is. The number 2 podcast in the world, the L4 podcast from the Silicon Valley on the South. But Sunday Robotics is in the actual Silicon Valley, which is in California. So they emerged from stealth publicly in this last month, November 2025. Wow. So Sunday Robotics was out there being all stealth-like, and then they're like, yeah, last month they're like, okay, we're coming in. We seen the target and emerge. Here we go. That's what it sounded like, I think. Okay, so Sunday Robotics, the core product is a wheeled humanoid robot named Mimo. Oh, Mimo. Did you say Mimo? Nemo or Mimo? M like mother. Mimo. Their primary technological breakthroughs are focused on rapid and scalable real-world learning for household tasks. Mimo the robot is a wheeled humanoid designed to be a 24/7 helper that tackles complex household chores such as laundry, dishes, tables, making espresso. Speaking of espresso, I'm going to take another sip of my coffee. Come on, guys, take a sip of coffee with me. Come on, here we go. Okay. Actually, let's see. Bear with me. I'm in the mood for just a little bit of music. This is the... Yeah, let's listen to this. This is the music I bought. And like that, it ended. Okay, let's get back to Mimo. Uh-oh, what was that? Oh no, bear with me. In the blink. What was that? Good God. Okay. My Apple Music started playing, but it started playing a song that I don't have. It just kind of started playing that song. Okay. I've been listening to some country music lately, so it must be a recommendation from the algorithm. Excuse me. The algorithm. Back to Mimo. Mimo from Sunday Robotics. Okay. So again, he's a wheeled, I'm going to call him a he because he has a little hat on and it looks like a he. He's a wheeled humanoid designed to be 24/7 helper. So it doesn't sound all that spectacular or interesting or different. How is this different than all the other robots I talk about? Let me tell you, it has skill capture gloves. And, here we are. And that is amazing. Here, the skill capture gloves, and we're talking memory developers. Now, guys, there is something called a memory developer. If you want a at-home job and an hourly wage, you can go and see who's hiring a memory developer, and that sounds fancy. Basically, it's a data collector. You either put gloves on or a VR head device on, and basically you're getting footage of. I'm thinking footage or these gloves. This is basically data input. Feedback, and it's this whatever company hires you is collecting all of that in order to train their robots. I think Figure does that. A lot of companies are doing that, and that's called a memory developer. So you got these memory developers using these skill capture gloves. This is a novel method for training the robot's AI. We're talking about Sunday Robotics, their flagship robot Mimo. This is how they train Mimo with their skill capture gloves. Over 2,000 pairs have been sent to memory developers worldwide to record human motion data while performing household tasks. So you can go ahead and sign up for this memory developer program, put these gloves on, put these glove bichons on, and go about doing your business, doing your chores, and then you get paid. Sounds sweet, right? Do it. Let me know how that goes. Okay, so the company states that Mimo has been trained on approximately 10 million episodes of real-world household routines for exceeding the data gathered in typical lab settings. This approach allows the robot to learn and adapt quickly to the messy, unpredictable nature of real homes. Sunday Robotics is currently planning a founding family beta program to put the Mimo robots into 50 households for early adoption in late 2026. I think they put them in Airbnbs as well. Yes, they did. Here we go. Airbnbs. There's a video. I don't think there's sound on this. No. So it's a video of Mimo, and Mimo, he got a little hat. Mimo got a hat. So, and he's on a stick, and the stick is on a base with wheels. It's a square base with wheels. And Mimo got arms. And Mimo got, he doesn't have a hand like humans. They're more like claws. And I'd say maybe like the three claw thing, and we're talking maybe a velociraptor type claw, but they don't look as gnarly. They're like friendly looking, and that's how I explain that. And I think I explained that quite well. So, lots of cheese over here. Lots of cheese coming out of my mouth today. I hope you like cheese. So that's because that's what's going on over here. So, Mimo, he's just going around putting things in a basket. He's just doing domestic cleanup things. It is even more fun to see how Mimo reacts to unseen environments. We deploy it to 6 unseen Airbnbs and tasks the robot with fine-grained tasks such as picking up utensils from the plate. Because we train on data from over 500 homes, the new home is instantly familiar to Mimo. So Mimo never saw this home before. But and that's what's really cool about this. And that's what's really cool about this skill capture glove. So there's, let's see. The glove does have haptics. It's a cheap sensor-packed wearable glove that everyday people, memory developers, can wear while doing household tasks in their own homes. This collects data to train the robot's AI brain called ACT-1. It's a foundation model that's like a massive neural network, pre-trained on tons of examples to predict actions. And it's embedded. It has embedded sensors. Again, these gloves. Let's see. People wear it for hours in real kitchens, bedrooms, doing chores casually. No robot needed nearby. And I mean, it's really, it is, the gloves give you feedback you feel in gaming gloves. So, because I was thinking, why not do the headset thing? Like, why not have people wear VR headsets and then you can feed that, all of that data and all of those visuals, imitation learning, you feed that to the robot to do imitation learning. But the VR headset, like Oculus or Apple Vision Pro, is good for capturing visual and full body motion data, like filming someone in a headset doing chores, tracking their head turns, arm swings, and stops via cameras and body trackers. You could feed that video data to the robot's AI to mimic paths. But VR misses the touch magic of the gloves. So, let's see. VR shines for navigation whole body paths through a room, but hands are blurry. So again, I was thinking, why not use VR to capture the data and footage to train your robot instead of using these gloves? Okay. And the answer is VR shines for navigation whole body paths through a room, but the hands are blurry. Gloves get millimeter accurate finger bends via a 200 plus degrees of freedom. That's that DOF. That means an independent joint movements like your thumbs 4 ways versus a robot's claw. And it's in context. People do real chores with the gloves. They're not staged demos. So data includes mess ups, variations, wet versus dry hands. That's an interesting point. And household chaos. Virtual reality headset often feels too gamey or lab sterile. Robots, basically, so the reason why humanoids or domestic robots are super hard to do and why a lot of them flop is because it's the chores. It's because hands are 70% of the challenge. Grasping regular stuff like socks or tools, VR feeds kinematic data, just positions over time, but gloves add dynamic data, forces, speeds, interactions, teaching the AI why a grip works. So Mimo can improvise, see a new sponge, adjust grip on the fly. No human demo needed with these amazing gloves, this skill capture glove. I mean, that's awesome. That's incredible, man. That just blows my mind, blows my mind out my butt. To be honest, I mean, just to be frank, these skill capture gloves that Sunday Robotics they engineered to train Mimo, their domestic robot. Well, the skill capture gloves technology that just blow my mind right out my butt. That's what's going on over there. Just mind-blowing technology. And again, you're gonna get that mind-blowing technology, of course, from a guy who is a former Google DeepMind Tesla engineer. That's Tony Zhao over there. Zhao. Okay. That's who you're going to get that from, that technology. So I just want to make sure I went over all of, and going back to Sunday Robotics, they put Mimo into the Airbnbs to collect all this data and for Mimo to learn. So basically with these gloves too is Mimo doesn't need simulation. No simulation needed. Real data bridges morpha, which is body shape differences between human/robot. And now Mimo is not a humanoid, is not a bipedal. So it doesn't need to figure out its legs. It just got to figure out the arms and its claws, man, its hands. So that's pretty amazing too. How the gloves are basically the skill capture gloves. You don't need a simulation needed, and Mimo can kind of learn on the fly. Probably doing that real time action chunking. Probably doing the on-device edge computing over there. And it is maybe even zero-shot learning. But, we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. So, moving on. Oh, Brett Adcock. I brought up the reason that Mimo is being trained in those Airbnbs, and I wanted to juxtapose that or bridge that to, other humanoid robots are being trained that way, and Brett Adcock is a good idea of that because he, if you remember, I mentioned he teamed up with Brookfield, and that's how he's getting his data. It's not a glove-based, from my understanding, it's not glove-based, but it's people getting footage for Figure to learn, and Brett did that with Brookfield, and so you could put people or robots in corridors, you could put them in empty living quarters, and have them going around the room and learning it without having seen the place first, and they're learning as they go. Zero-shot generalization, I do believe that's called. And again, zero-shot generalization is zero-shot learning or generalization in AI when a model can handle a new task or recognize unseen data without extra training. It relies on its prior knowledge. So that's what's going on over there. And let's see, that announcement Brett made a few months ago, I think a couple months ago. Figure is announcing a first of its kind partnership with Brookfield. Brookfield is one of the world's largest asset managers with over $1 trillion of assets and 100,000 residential units. And then also at the same time, or around the same time, Brett also announced Project Go Big, building the world's largest humanoid pre-training data set. And Brookfield that's obviously part of it. It makes it possible for Figure to build very large amounts of data sets. They can have people with VR headsets going around and getting footage for Figure. They can have Figure the robot going around and walk around corridors, like I mentioned. This Project Go Big is accelerated by our partnership with Brookfield, who owns over 100,000 residential units, which I just mentioned a few seconds ago. If anyone has amnesia, there you go. So I'll get off of that because I'm just going to keep repeating myself. Let's see. And let's see. We're going to end it. I'm going to end on this note. I think we've gone over a lot of things, a lot of incredible things. Thank you for listening and being here with me, guys. I value each and every one of you, and I have a few more. I noticed I have a couple more new followers on YouTube, and welcome and thank you everybody else and all of my OGs for hanging in there with me, being with me on this journey. I just sending a lot of love out to you guys. So let's end on this note. We're talking a micro drone that is going to revolutionize the pest control industry. No more chemicals, safe and effective insect elimination. Insectadrones will track and destroy insects 24/7. I didn't do any research on this company, but I was watching this video, and good God, could you imagine walking out your house and then seeing a fleet of these Insectadrones? Like, there's going to be, you know how there's like smog warnings? There's going to be like Insectadrone warning in your area. Stay in your house or your face is going to get all sliced up if you walk outside right now. You walk outside in this whole freaking cloud of Insectadrones, and then you got no eyelids. You got no eyelids left walking out that. Just a swarm of Insectadrones. You got no eyelids walking out that, and all of the mosquitoes are dead. And one of those things isn't great. That's all I'm saying. This thing is wild, man. That's what I'm going to end on. Hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season. We're coming up on Christmas, and we're having some cookie bakes, and we're gonna consume a large amounts of sugar. So make sure you're taking a couple tablespoons of your apple cider vinegar a few times a day to keep your sugars down. And that's what I'm saying. And don't take advice from me because I'm just a comedian. Okay, have a fantastic day, guys. I will see you next week.